Another beautiful backdrop. That's what I'm creating for you. What are you creating? I'm no longer in my 20s. I'm no longer in my 30s either. And I'm in the final year, actually, of my early 40s. But it's never too late to create the life that you want. What I see in most people is creations of chaos, of despair, of nihilism, of confusion. But it doesn't have to be that way. You're still perfectly in your capability of building a life of joy, of creating peace and harmony and abundance, creating many beautiful things. But you know what I'm going to say now, don't you? That it's up to you to decide. It's up to you to take the responsibility for what you create. Because I'm going to turn this around, and you see, getting out into nature. And this, these kind of landscapes, they may not necessarily appeal to you. I love them. This is where I love being, amongst the trees, the greenery, the wild, open expanses of the Derbyshire countryside. But whatever it is that you want, in order to actually get there, I believe it's essential that you ask for help, that you look for inspiration from people who have created wonderful things, who have created businesses, who have indulged their desire to cook wonderful food, to create wonderful works of art, to create an environment in which you can thrive. And you can only do that if you're present and if you're honest with yourself, because a creation requires a divine spark. It requires that you ignite that fire, that passion inside of you. And people are afraid to do this, because I remember being in London and having many experiences where, I would be out there, really, really genuinely out there, being wild, of not being bothered about what you think. But what you'll find is that when you encounter certain people or encounter certain situations, that there will be people who really object, to you being your authentic self. Because, and it's not, the thing is, very rarely is it actually out of genuine criticism. I believe that people are wedded to whatever they're doing because it gives them a certain sense of security and familiarity. And even if they're not necessarily happy with it, it's predictable. But a lot of people get lost in the jobs that they hate or they don't like very much, that don't bring them that much joy. But I honestly believe that there are many people trapped in this way of thinking that they believe that they have no other options. You see, that they don't see that there's a whole world out there of opportunity and possibility. I've always believed in the power of possibility, because I've been questioning, and I've never really accepted the status quo and thought, there's got to be something better than this, and it's meant that I've had what some might call a flighty life, and, not of sort of being unsteady, unstable. But frankly, I just see it as adventure. And I've always had this zest for life, this instinct to go out and do fabulous things. And there have been people that have come up to me and said, a variety of things. A, Martin, how do you do it? And the answer to that is, well, I've decided and I've gone and done it. I haven't hesitated. I haven't procrastinated. I haven't allowed doubts that I may very well have had at various points. And I have had doubts, but that's never stopped me of just getting on with it. And life is fabulous when you just get on with things, because you realize how resilient you can be. But I've also, in certain moments, encountered people who say, oh God, you're so selfish and you're so mean, and why don't you think of other people? And what actually people mean when they say that is, well, why don't you just behave like I behave? But we're not here to behave how other people behave. That is their business. and your life is your business. And you know that when I'm staring at the camera like this, that I'm going to give you my dramatic conclusion. And my dramatic conclusion to this video is this: create a life that you feel proud of, where you're doing positive things for yourself and other people to make the world a genuinely better place.